I'm here with Victor Mastone, and Victor is the Director and Chief Archaeologist of the Board of Underwater Archaeological Resources for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Did I get that right?
That's correct. It's a long title.
It's a long title. And you were telling me when, being the director is a lot more impressive when you have a staff.
Yes.
But you don't really have so much of a staff anymore.
Right, it's just me now, and the 9 board members.
And the 9 board members. All right, but Dave Jewell brought in this anchor the other day. And did he give you the coordinates of where he found it?
His wife gave me a general location. They're going to do some of the requisite paperwork, like everything else. Everything in government requires paperwork. Yeah. But we'll get the coordinates, and I can do some more research for them to tell them what I know of the area. The general vicinity they're talking about. So there's so much could have happened. Could have wrecked there. Could have been dumped there. Yeah. You just don't know what's there.
So can you tell? You were explaining to me originally that, like, if someone finds something like this, it's the property of the state?
It is, yes. The Commonwealth owns all abandoned property that's historic. It's kind of hard with some ships because they're still owned by insurance companies, but in general cases like this, it's really Commonwealth property. It's not like we want to collect money off of it or anything. This is just random stuff, usually on the bottom, especially anchors. Yeah. They're all over the place, especially near a harbor where people either had a hook in, tie up quick before in a storm, or they just dumped it. A lot of guys will bring it in and caught in their net, they dump it off the side of their lines to get it out of the way. Yeah. And so you get a lot of random trash. Right. And that's the way we'll treat it for now. If we knew this was right on a shipwreck, then we treat it differently. But from what he explained to me, and we have this happen enough, that it's probably just a random anchor that's on the bottom. It might be associated with a shipwreck, but most likely it's just bottom debris.
So can you explain a little bit about this particular anchor, what style it is, and what are some of the features on it?
Sure. I'm pretty sure it's what they call an Admiralty type anchor, just by the general shape. Some of the features we look at mostly are the shape of the crown, the bottom of the anchor. We look at that shape. We look at the ring if we can find it. It looks like the ring is still here or partially here. Look at the size of the ring. Smaller rings actually are what you find with chain. Chain is usually later. I mean, just because this has line in it doesn't mean that that was an older anchor. It's got a lot of lobster line tied around it. It looks like, gear line.
Right. That was probably to get it where it ended eventually. Yeah.
But we look at the shape of the shank, the length of the shank, the size of the bills, and those tell us little clues, but you have to take them all together because anchors sort of stay very similar for long periods of time. But in this case, it looks pretty much to me like it's wrought iron and not cast.
And what does that mean to you?
It would be a little bit older. Casting means you have to have a lot of iron available. Okay. And manufacturing, Massachusetts did make anchors.
I gotcha.
The areas where we look for information on anchor style would be here, like manufacturing information, but it's all concreted. And I wouldn't take this stuff off unless I was going to treat it. It actually helps stabilize it to keep the natural growth on it. Seeing this growth of barnacles on it suggests that she's been not exposed that long, but long enough to get a good crust on her, which actually kept it together.
I see. That's interesting.
But usually it's ring size.
There's a little bit of wood. Do we find some wood on this originally?
We found it on the this clip. So it could be that it's just, and there's some wrought iron in here too. It could be just where it was next to the vessel. It's on this side. It looks more like it. I'll come right over there. No, that could be wrought iron. That's wrought iron.
Oh, okay.
That's on the clamp. The fact that it's a keyed anchor, keyed stock, meant to be, stowed a little bit more easily.
Oh, okay.
So,
was there another ball at the other end?
There could have been. A lot of the pictures I've seen don't have 2 balls.
I see.
I could say something crude, but I won't.
Yeah, all
right. There's the keyhole. So that she'd come in and there'd be like a cotter pin that they'd stick in here or a key to lock it in place when she wasn't being stowed. And a lot of times she was stowed down tight like this on a deck, or even against the hull. I'm going to say, based on the size, and it's about an 8 or 9 foot, we haven't measured it up yet, as an 8 or 9 foot shank, it's probably like a 100-ton anchor, what they call a 60 weight, 6 weight, but roughly a 100-ton vessel max, so it's probably more of a coastal fishing vessel is what she came off of, or maybe a coastal trader, so a 2-3-masted schooner bringing lumber, or a fishing boat, more likely a fishing boat here, but that's me just guessing.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. And do you guys have a website that people can go for information?
We do.
And what would that be?
I'd have to actually look it up myself. It's right on my card.
Okay.
But they can go to the state website, mass.gov, and look for coastal zone, and we're under coastal zone management's programs.
Okay, well, we'll link to it on the blog, and thanks for coming out and talking to us.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's always good to talk to people about the stuff we do and sort of tie them to their heritage.
Thanks so much.